welcome back to my channel. This is Becky, and in this episode I am going to be talking about how to tell if your partner is a psycho, because psychopaths have it finely honed and their charm disarms, so it becomes very difficult to know if somebody is psychotic or not, which is why it's always my go-to is to say keep giving it time and space, because I've known people for my whole life that come to find out were not who I thought they were. So psychopaths are people that aren't born charming. Okay, they become charming in order to get their needs met, and unfortunately a lot of times they've had so much trauma learning how to get their needs met that they become very charismatic, very engaging. They become prominent leaders in the community. They become trusted coaches and officials and clergymen, and they put themselves in administrative positions where they look good because they've got the fancy clothes and the cars and the suits and the ties, and it all looks great. However, they developed the social skills to be able to charm and disarm and use their spiritual gifts against others who are not as aware. It's a skill set that has to be developed. So how can I talk about it? Because I have this skill set. I know how to do what they do. The difference is that I was born an ascended master, but I had to relearn through experience how to gain my power back and to stay in alignment with my truth and God and source and my ancestors more than I ever believed or connected or resonated with what my 3D reality. There was always, my gut was like, this isn't right. And 2 years ago, when my ancestors sent me on this vision quest of following my ancestry with a shamanic vision quest into soul retrieval and to recalibrate my own internal compass, because too many people were psychopaths in my world that I didn't even realize. It's a skill set that's developed, and what you're really looking for is do they really have shallow ranges of emotions, right? How deep do they go? And that takes time to be able to consistently watch somebody's behavior, hear their words, see their actions, and you have to have the spiritual gifts to be able to then be able to remote view and astral project and use your telepathy and other gifts to be able to protect yourself. You have to heighten those senses, because we are conditioned from birth to disarm ourselves, leaving us in a very vulnerable victim state, which then I developed a way, because I wasn't being heard by the 3D authorities and stuff, and back then that was kind of how everything was. People did not get involved. If a husband was beating his wife, they didn't get involved. That was between them. We're no longer living in those times, because too many of us helpers and healers are running out of our own energy to take care of ourselves and be in alignment with God's mission, because we are trying to help and motivate and heal and do and go for everybody else around us. And God is pulling all of those people away from us so people can see the real from the fake. Because yes, I can teach people how to act like Jesus. I can teach people how to be like Mary. I can lead people on how to live a godly life in the 3D. What I can't do, and this is an internal thing, is I can't teach you how to embody the teachings of Jesus. I can't teach you how to actively embrace the Holy Spirit and move forward in life. That is internal. That is something only you and God can do. So I will coach people if they come to me, but I will say that I don't know your blueprint. Only you will know your blueprint. I know my blueprint as a divine feminine who has been traumatized for 49 years, just like many of the women that I work with, and men. that I work with have been traumatized their entire life on this planet. It doesn't set me apart that I've gone through these traumas. I'm not the first person to say that I'm being watched by the government. No, I'm not the first person to say they're doing illegal experiments on me and my family is financially benefiting. This is nothing new. This story has been going on and on and on and on. But that's where my ancestors said, it stops with you. In our bloodline, it stops with you. And again, I don't even know the truth of my genetics and my bloodline. All I do know is that I am spiritual royalty. I know that my grandfather was protecting me fiercely for some reason, and at 5 years old, I had an experience that left me having to lead spiritually my family at 5 years old, because he had passed away, and I do believe that there was black magic and spell work involved, because he was such a powerful leader, as a true man in his divinity. And so the masculinity that we see today is not what I experienced as a small child. What I experienced as a small child was a man who would shoot somebody who was coming at me. So today's day and age, they'll say, oh, he's toxic. And I'm going to say, no, he's protecting. And so that's why I said I don't resonate with the United States and how things are done here. I don't quite know what's out there either. So I am in this gray zone of, is there even a safe place on this planet? Because I'm thinking there's not. I would like to hope that there's, I was always told Switzerland is neutral. I've always heard that there are places out there. I've just never seen them.
I need you to come here for a minute.
Okay, I'm recording.
Well, I need you to come here right now.
Okay.